Yeah, so from what I know, the property that they were renting it on, like they had a 10-year lease on it, and then it just came to an end, pretty much. And when they were trying to renew it, the property owner decided to double the rent in the middle of the pandemic.
On today's episode of the Grab Matters podcast, we sit down with a very special guest, professional wakeboarder from the Philippines, Raph Trinidad. We're talking with Raph about him moving over here to the United States, why he did that, what his plans are for this season, some of the upcoming seasons. We also talk about what it's like growing up in the Philippines, getting into wakeboarding over there, kind of the struggle that he had to find sponsors. We also talk a lot about contest formats, what motivates Raph to either go to a contest or not go to a contest. We also talk air tricks, something that Raph is really good at, and whether or not he thinks that air tricks should be involved in every full-size cable contest or not. I want to give a huge shout out to all the Patreon subscribers. Your guys' support helps keep this podcast going, so thank you a ton for joining the Patreon, everybody on there. It means a lot to me. Before we get into this episode, I have a quick word from the WSIA. It is Pass the Handle week this week. I like to think of it as basically our Go Skateboarding Day, so it's a good opportunity to get everybody out on the water, whether you're at a cable, behind the boat. Let's keep the momentum going and get as many newcomers into the sport as we can. So let's encourage everybody to kind of join the effort and make a difference this week by getting somebody new out on the water. I want to encourage everybody to check out at Pass the Handle on social media just to see updates, see what everybody else is doing, getting other people out on the water all across the country. Everybody in the water sports industry kind of coming together this week to help get as many new faces out on the water as possible. And make sure to tag your posts, hashtag Pass the Handle, and you might get featured. Without further ado, let's get into this podcast with Raph Trinidad.
Waterboarding. They're talking about wakeboarding. The thing about wakeboarding, every trick is an invert.
Backside.
Air railies.
A new dimension.
We're back. Another episode of the Grab Matters podcast. Today we welcome on a very special guest, Raph Trinidad.
What is up, guys? Good to be here. Love what Grab Matters does for wakeboarding, and super stoked to be here.
Look at that compliment right off the gate. I love that.
Of course, dude.
Huge. Stoked to have you in here. I got an initial first question.
Yeah.
Is Raph the greatest wakeboarder of all time?
Raph Jerome.
Is Raph the greatest wakeboarder of all time?
Oh, damn, dude. Put me on the spot right there. I will definitely say that is my goal, but as of now, I know for a fact that for me, I know I have a lot of things that I need to work on. Like what I said earlier, I have never tried a double flip off a kicker. I have done one off the water.
See, that's got me confused. That seems, I mean, I guess you're an air trick guy, like you're good at air tricks, but like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like JB O'Neill told me to try it way, I don't know how many years ago. But for some reason, when he told me to try a double, I just told him straight up, like, I won't do it off the kicker. I'll try it off the water instead. And then he lost it. Yeah.
Interesting. So you still haven't tried one, though?
I still haven't tried one until this day. Like, I have not tried one.
Plans to do them?
Maybe. If the vibe's right, if the right push is there, maybe I'll try one. But yeah, for my mindset is just, I think off the kicker, if I do like get hurt, I think I'll get hurt more off a kicker rather than trying it off the water. Like, I think it's gonna be more mellow off the water. However, I know some of the people watching this are gonna tell me that otherwise,
I mean, I can kind of see it though, because off the kicker you're going way higher. So like if you do mess up and land with like your legs in a weird position, I could see how it goes south. Rather than off the water, to me, it just seems like you're going to come up short, catch an edge, and just like.
Yeah, but I have had like the reason why I don't do it as much is because for the most part, when I do try them off the water, if I don't land it, it's all on my ankles. So I'm like,
yeah,
I don't do it too often. But recently in West Rock, all the kids, like I was trying to ask them like, you want me to do a 1080 or a double? And all of them were just saying double. And
people love the double, dude.
I know, dude. It's like Jacob Sunday, Gavin Jigley over there. And then I was like, I am not trying it off the kicker.
They got an XL there, though. I mean, if you did it off the kicker, what would it be? What would the double be?
Probably double half cab.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be.
Is that what you do off the water? Mostly?
That's what I do off the water, yeah. So I think that'll make the more sense for me to try it off the try a double half cab. I mean, I've seen a lot of people try doubles for the first time, and they do a toe double back roll.
That would be my choice. I'm never going to do it, but that would be my choice.
Why are you not?
I guess never say never, right?
All right.
Toast a back roll. That would be a funny video, dude. Me trying to double flip. That would be interesting. All right. So I mean, we're talking about the greatest wakeboarder of all time. So you're here in Florida. I want to talk about that move in a little bit. But do you plan on riding boat? Have you been riding behind the boat?
I have been riding behind the boat. I've been riding with Max Saya a bunch behind boat. I recently just got my first 720 off the boat, so I'm super stoked on that. Yeah, I got to step up my boat game, bro, especially now that I'm in Florida.
Yeah, you kind of don't have an excuse now that you're here.
Yeah, I don't have an excuse. Yeah. So.
What are you riding behind the boat? You riding your cable board?
I'm on my Atlas 2023 Atlas because that still has the options for the fins. So I just put some fins on there. I got a boat board.
There you go, dude.
There you go, dude.
Love it. Okay, so we just talked 2 disciplines. We're kind of missing the third one, and that's winching. Any plans on anything winching?
I am super down to do some winching while I'm here for sure.
Okay.
Because I think my biggest winch year was back in 2021 when I was still in the Philippines, and I went home to my hometown with my parents. And that was the time when I just got my re-winch set because the first re-winch got lost in customs, of course.
Classic.
Yeah, classic. And then, he sent me over the other one. As soon as I got it, brought it back to my hometown in Cebu in the Philippines. And, basically me, my dad, and all my friends growing up in the province, just like we're looking at spots. We found a spot really close to where my dad's house is. Literally, you can walk to it, and it's just like a small spillway, pretty much. And then it went viral on like all the platforms in our news back home, like locally.
Yeah.
Like I think it got like about 6 million views or something on Facebook. So I'm like, because all the people like they were saying like, oh, what's pulling him? A cow?
Dude, that breaks people's brains when they see that.
Dude,
Like, they have no idea.
It was so funny. Like people were saying like it's edited and stuff, and other people were like, "Oh, that's sick," and then, "Oh, what's pulling him? A cow?" Or someone's.
I've
just
never heard the
running
cow. That's a great one though.
Dude, it's so good. It was so funny. But I mean, whatever they say, I was just really happy with the turn. I did not expect it because it was literally like the best camera we had during that shoot was an iPhone 11. That was it, and like I think a GoPro.
Sometimes it's just about what you're doing, not how you
I know,
record it.
It was very unexpected. So yeah, 2021 was my biggest winch year. Did a lot of like projects with just my family pretty much back home, and then so far I am really down to do some winching.
All right.
I'm more than happy to do so.
A lot of people do say that, and then they don't actually do the winching. So
I do want to get to do the winching. I mean, John Dryling just told me he has 2 re-winches now, so I'm like,
he does. He's just rolling in the money apparently, dude. He's got re-winches floating everywhere.
Hit me up, John.
All right, wake pants, yes or no?
Well, I've never tried them on, so I don't really want to be a judge. I mean, Toby Mitchell rocks them so well, so maybe it just takes that type of person to rock wake pants. But I've seen them a lot. I mean, surprisingly, I've seen someone wear wake pants back home in the Philippines.
I was going to ask. It seems a little hot for the wake pants over there.
Yeah, they're not wearing it for the weather. They're wearing it for style.
See, yeah. I feel like my wake pants take is changing a little bit. Mm-hmm. When it's hot, there's just I don't see why you would wear them. It sounds hot. It sounds miserable.
I know. I mean, I get what you mean. I've never tried them, so I'm not going to talk bad about them until I try them.
Well, this winter, when Orlando gets allegedly cold,
probably,
then maybe you can rock a pair.
I'll rock them for sure.
Favorite grab?
Favorite grab? Crail glide.
Crail glide, okay.
Crail glide, that's my favorite.
That's a good one.
Yeah, the kids back home call it the Spider-Man grab. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what you would like to call it, but it's just like all twisted up and then just holding it in the air.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Yeah,
it looks like you're shooting the web or something from Spider-Man?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, I have some photos on my social media, so I mean, I do get what they mean by Spider-Man grab, though. It does sort of mimic the
I mean, there are worse names for wakeboard tricks than Spider-Man grab anyway, so that's I don't hate it. Let's talk moving to Orlando, because we're here in Orlando, obviously, and you are from the Philippines, for those who don't know. Mm-hmm. And before we get into how where you grew up and how you got into riding, I'm curious, you recently moved to Orlando in past 6 months or something?
I just moved to Orlando probably like 2 months ago.
Oh, 2 months ago, okay.
2 months ago. And then I got to the States. I moved to the States March 31st. Ooh.
Cracking a cold one. Yeah.
March 31st. And then, came into the States. We entered States, me and my parents. We came in through New York. We were there for a whole month. Yeah.
Did you have to be or something?
My uncle was there.
Okay.
So he was helping us out with everything. And then, after that, we actually came, like the first time you messaged me, we came here to Orlando for like a week because I just miss riding pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Fair.
we came here. We came here for a week. And then after that, we went back to New York. And then we moved out of our apartment, moved to Philadelphia with my mom's best friend's husband.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty much family still.
Yeah.
We were there for like a week or two, and then we visited my dad's best friend in Vegas. Got to see Vegas.
Yeah. What do you think about Vegas?
Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas. Yeah, it's basically what the movies.
It's pretty accurate to how it's
pretty
portrayed.
accurate. Like,
Yeah,
how
I
it's
would
portrayed
agree.
in the movies. It's pretty. Yeah, saw a lot of things over there, but
Did you gamble at all?
no, I'm not a huge gambler.
Well,
But
fair.
got to experience the Vegas lights,
The energy. Yeah.
the energy over there. And then after that, we were supposed to head to my aunt in Cali, but then I told my parents I kind of want to move to Orlando already. So
Well, it sounds like you're kind of bopping all over the United States. Like that's
yeah, it was pretty much a touristy first 2 months for us. Yeah, which made my mom very happy.
I mean,
of
that's
course. I
cool.
love
That's
her.
that's a good way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so after Vegas, I came straight to Orlando, and then I lived with Brandon and Tina Rao for about a month. And then now I'm with my aunt who lives like somewhere like still close to the park, pretty much like in between Odeb and Nona.
Okay.
So
Cool.
yeah, man, like slowly settling in. Just got my new car as well, so I'm stoked.
It's a sick GTI he's got out front. I'll put a picture into that. But okay, so you're in Orlando. I'm curious on some like differences. You've been here for a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Had you traveled to America a lot before moving here?
This is my very first time in America.
Okay, I was curious because you've traveled for like to a lot of countries for cable contests, but
Yeah.
America doesn't really have cable contests. Like we had the U.S. Park Pro a few years ago, but besides that, there was nothing in the last several years that would be like worth you coming over, I guess, like prize purse wise. So what's the difference between Filipino living and United States living?
So basically the main difference, like coming here in Orlando specifically, like all the families that were in Odeb that I met as soon as I got here were very, very welcoming, very nice. So it felt like home pretty much already as soon as I got here. And then the main thing is actually just cost of everything.
More expensive?
Way more expensive,
yeah.
bro. Like it's insane. I was kind of stressing out on how much everything was. I was trying my best not to convert, because if you convert, it's just horrible.
You're gonna live a sad life.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just, okay, $1 is $1 from now on. I'm not even going to think about, $1 is 50 peso, something like that.
So I guess let's do a quick comparison for the people who don't know. How much is that Red Bull today? Do you remember?
This Red Bull is
Or how much does a Red Bull go for?
$2.50.
Okay, and in the Philippines, what would the like equivalent be?
It's pretty much the same. It's
Red Bull's the
spot
same?
on. Yeah, Red Bull's spot on.
Okay.
Because it's about 150 peso. So 2.5 times 58 is pretty much
Pretty close.
Pretty much around there. Maybe a bit more expensive, but for the most part, it's the same.
There's no Angel's Burgers over here though.
Dude, I miss everything.
I wanted to hear your thoughts on Angel's Burgers because I was a huge fan when I was in the Philippines.
There you go.
Do you like them?
I love them, dude. I mean, $1 for 2 burgers. I mean, we don't know what they put in the burger patty, but
Sometimes you just don't
gas.
want to ask questions. You just kind of.
Yeah, you just gotta like appreciate it. Don't even. It's just good.
It's just
It's
good.
good, bro. That's all I gotta say.
You did say before this podcast you got some work later, so I'm curious, like what you've been up to here in Orlando. Obviously, riding quite a bit, but you said you're working. So what are you doing here?
Yeah. So basically, I just got into. I have a coaching camp right now in Nona that I just started this past Wednesday. So yeah, today is actually the last day for this week, and then we're gonna try and keep doing it like weekly from here on out. So far it's been an amazing time, man. Like the kids that I'm teaching right now have been landing like most of the tricks they've been wanting to land. So
Sick.
Yeah, it's super good to see. Like, I just love seeing the progression on the water and seeing the kids, like, for the most part, like, I see them sometimes stressed out or, like, being bummed that they didn't get the trick that they wanted for today. I always just remind them that, dude, the purpose of this camp is not to, like, I'm not requiring you to land a trick every single day, but I just want you to be better from yesterday. So that's what I keep trying to, like, remind them and stuff. And then, like these kids are helping each other out as well. So I just want to make that, like, wakeboarding is much more of a community than it is just, like, pure riding. So just to be able to, like, show them that it's about helping each other, like, encouraging each other and then pushing each other. That's what it's all about.
100%, dude, because I think about the parks that I enjoy riding at the most.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, setup is like a huge thing.
Yeah,
but it's
sure.
really the people. Like,
Yeah.
if the people are sick, like, and it's just a couple like flat bars and a tube and some kickers, and like, I don't know,
dude,
probably have more fun that day
Exactly.
than like the sickest layout with like the wackest people around.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Like, no matter what you do, like, if you just have a kicker, a flat bar, like what you said, dude, you just session that thing, like, be like a carry behind your good buddy
With
or
the
something.
homies, dude, yeah.
That's it.
You can't ask for anything more.
Yeah.
All right, so we touched on Philippines, but I want to get into, growing up in the Philippines, because there's a decent amount of wake parks, I would say, in the Philippines. I'm curious how old you were when you won your first nationals.
My first nationals was back in 2015, and I think I was 14 years old. So it was probably like maybe a year or a year and a half into riding, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah.
So you didn't get started till what, 13 years old or something like that?
Yeah, like, I think I started December of 2013.
Okay.
Maybe, like, yeah, pretty much 12 and almost turning 13.
Okay.
And then, yeah, basically I started riding in a 2.0.
I want to hear about this 2.0 that you started riding.
All right, so basically, like, in the family, the first ever wakeboarder in the family was my uncle, and then my uncle introduced my mom into the sport, and then as soon as my mom, like, after my mom tried it, she immediately called my dad, who was working in China at the time. She was like, "Yo, like, this sport is not for us; it's for Raph." And I was playing soccer at that time. Like, before wakeboarding, I was a full-on soccer player because I wanted to be like my dad. And then, yeah, pretty much what happened was when my dad visited us in Cebu, Philippines, we both tried it for the first time, and I was just hooked, man. I've always been a water baby ever since, so I just loved being out there on the water. And my mom made me decide. I think it was a big decision for a 12-year-old, like, soccer or wakeboarding. Like, I had to choose one.
Yeah.
And I think I made the right choice.
I would agree.
Because ever since then, yeah, I mean, rest is history pretty much. Like, I just rode every single day. I rode at a 2.0. So, like what you said, I just watched the recent podcast about the homemade rails. I grew up in homemade rails. So I do not mind riding homemade rails at all. I've had my fair share of clipping nails and stuff. Like, I've broken my first board way too many times on like homemade rails, and I don't mind because that's where I learned it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, I wanted to tell you this story. My first ever board was a boat board.
Okay.
And then, as soon as I got my first ever board, which was a boat board, I realized there was a defect on it. So, apparently the shop told me that I would have to, like, not get it scratched up, which is basically not hit rails until, the new board comes in as a replacement. So I was basically just, the first 6 months of my riding, I was just doing all of the basic tricks. I learned a railie before my first rail hit because, like, I had no choice. I mean, I couldn't hit any rails. We basically just had, like, homemade spines, a homemade flat bar, and, like, a A-frame thing, but that's it. And then I couldn't hit them. So all of what I've been doing, like, for the first 6 months of riding was just, like, carving left and right, doing it switch left and right, ollies, ollie 180s, ollie back ones, railie.
That's wild.
Yeah. I mean, a corner railie. Come on. Like, first 6 months of riding, it was a corner railie. And I was so stoked on that because I just wanted to fly,
Yeah.
Then got my S-bend. I was super hyped on that. Like, a corner S-bend, bro. Just like, wee. It was so, yeah.
Okay, so when I watch you ride, like clips and stuff, and in person, it seems that you have like really solid fundamentals. And I don't think there's probably very few wakeboarders who start their first 6 months out on the cable and don't hit features. So do you think, I mean, did you have a coach growing up at all? Was there anybody like mentoring you into riding in those first, 6 months to a couple years?
So my first, like basically my first 2 years of riding, I did not have a coach. I was basically running off an iPad. So it was my mom on the sideline. My dad was my coach. He would just tell me like, oh, maybe you need to do this, maybe you need to do that. And then my mom would always just be on the sideline filming with a big iPad, and then we would review it right after I try a trick. Like if I fall, okay, what did I do wrong here? It was basically like that for the first 2 years probably. And then when I went to CWC for I think this first or second time, I had a coach. His name's James Boja. I'm not sure if you've heard of him. Yeah. So yeah, he basically taught me most of like my air tricks, like my 315, my back mob 5, like all those tricks, like switch front to blind. Yeah. So yeah, it's been wild. Like after landing those tricks, it's pretty much been like, how to step up from there.
Do you think having all the, like that first 6 months of literally just riding the water gave you like a different, not path, but like stronger fundamentals, I guess, when it comes to learning how to carve your board, edge your board, all that stuff?
Yes, definitely. Like this is what I swear by pretty much. Because I also told this story to most of the kids that are starting out and they're frustrated that they can't like hit their first rail or something. And I stand by the fundamentals because that's how I grew up riding. Like first 6 months, just like getting everything dialed, like from your regular stance, doing it switch and all this stuff. It really add up because as soon as I got my my replacement board, so I can finally hit rails now, I hit all the rails first try.
Yeah.
And it was just like I hit the kicker, I landed it, the flat bar, the rooftop A-frame or something like that. I got everything first try. And I think that says a lot.
For sure, because it shows that you have like a lot of board control.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's like a textbook thing. You see the person come to the cable for the first time and they like go to hit the kicker. They have zero chance because they have no control of their board. Like they could barely edge out to hit the kicker, but like they're never going to land it like that.
I agree. So yeah, I stand by the fundamentals. They're very, very important. And yeah, it's what I preach by pretty much.
Love it. How deep was the water at that cable, that first cable?
It was either a hand width or...
So like 6 inches deep?
Yeah, it was either like 6 inches or a foot deep, or it was like 8 feet deep. Because it was like by the ocean. So high tide, low tide was amazing. I mean, low tide was really good for air tricks, but if you fall, you're going to eat sand pretty much.
Yeah, it sounds incredibly painful.
Yeah. So I would always, like, before going to that park, I would always check the tide. Like, if I wanted to do, like, more like rails and stuff, or just have fun pretty much, I go there during the high tide. And if I wanted to, like, go big on air tricks, I go there during the low tide. Probably when it's not, like,
Super
6 inches
low.
deep, you know? But I've had my fair share of back edges and then straight to the sand. Like, dude, there was a lot of times where I was trying a back roll for the first time, and I got smoked. And then as soon as I come up, like, my board shorts were filled with sand, my helmet was full of sand. I had sand in my hair. Dude, it was crazy.
That's gnarly, dude.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's salt water, so it's like, double the pain pretty much.
Were there any riders that you looked up to? I mean, obviously there's people hanging around at the cable park, but was there any names that stuck out I mean, you said James Boja, but were there any other ones that stuck out early?
Oh, yeah. So growing up, I've always been a huge fan of Raph Trinidad. I mean, a lot of people say because we have the same name, but I don't know. He's an amazing rider. I look up to him a lot. And also Daniel Grant. Those are the two names that really I've just been looking up to them ever since starting riding. So, yeah.
Those are two heavy hitters right there.
Yeah.
DG and Raph Trinidad.
Yeah.
Let's talk kind of sponsors. So, sounds like you picked wakeboarding over soccer, so you're taking it pretty seriously.
Yeah.
Taking some videos on the iPad on the sideline with the fam. You pick up any sponsors early on? What's like the first sponsorship looking like?
The first sponsorship was, I think, the park itself, like that 2.0 that I started in. So when they saw, I think when they told me that they saw the potential in me, then they gave me the free ride. So basically, like every day I ride every day, even after school. I get off school at like 4, I think, and then I would just like ride my bicycle going to the park because it's like a rough road going to the park pretty much. And then yeah, it's been. I think that was my first ever sponsor was the free ride at the park. But my um yeah the like first big one was I think when I finally moved to Manila, and then I started riding in Republic Wake Park. So that was when things started to like shift because I had my kicker tricks, I had my air tricks, but my rails were far off because I did start at a 2.0 with homemade rails.
And
So
you weren't
just
really hitting them for the first part,
yeah,
anyways.
exactly. So I did that and then started riding in Republic. Trained, I think we moved to Republic the same, like I think it was a month before the first nationals that I joined. And then yeah, I was basically just riding there for a whole month trying to like figure out the rails situation because that was my really lacking part coming
Well, they're
from
pretty big rails there too, compared to I'm sure
yeah,
what you were on the 2.0.
compared to homemade reels on a 2.0, they're way bigger and way different, like
Yeah.
tension wise and everything. So I worked on that for a month, and then I did my first ever nationals. I joined Groms, and then just for the fun of it, I joined Open Men in that same year. And then I was lucky enough to land to bag both in my first ever nationals.
Taking the grommets and the open men division. That's hilarious. Man, okay. So I guess like as the sponsorship continues, like I guess or lack thereof, I could say, because I feel like it's been a while since you've been a really good wakeboarder and then you got like a board sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that there was like, I don't know how to word it, I guess, struggles of being in the Philippines compared to maybe if you were in a different country of getting either a board sponsor or life jacket sponsor or anything like that? I mean, did you feel like you were having, it was harder for you to kind of get noticed or in a sense?
I would have to agree. It was a bit more difficult to get, like the gear needed to ride pretty much because yeah, we were very limited when it comes to like the amount of gear we had available. So during that time when Republic was still open, uh they were distributing liquid force. So that was a bit sort of streamlined, but also it was quite difficult in a way. But yeah, as soon as like Republic Wake Park closed down during the pandemic, during COVID. And then as soon as that happened, it was a struggle, man. It was so hard. I think I had only one set per year,
Really?
which was very, very hard. So I had to like stop myself from like trying these like really big gaps off a rail or something, or like rail to rails or big gaps onto like pipes or something, because I didn't want to break my board. So that I think was very hard for me because I did want to like improve. I did want to do something
Yeah.
that, something new, but I stuck to like just doing what I always could, like making everything consistent because I did not want to break my board. I mean, I think for everyone watching this, like if you just have one board per year, you would actually just like, slow down a bit.
Oh, 100%, dude. Yeah, definitely. For sure.
Yeah, it was a difficult time, but yeah, after all that, January was like this January 1st, or pretty much New Year's for that matter. Double Up hit me up and hooked me up with this amazing set right behind me.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, like they're an amazing company. I love what they do, their vision for the sport, and I'm all for that. So I'm happy to be riding for a company that, just wants the best for wakeboarding and their riders.
Sick. I mean, I usually do setup later in the show, but we're talking about it right now. So like run through your setup, boots, board, stance angle, all that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm on the 2024 Atlas right now. And for bindings, I have the Heritage in white, of course, because we want to
White on
go for
white.
that all white setup. I do have the booties for anyone asking. I have them right here. The booties are here. And yeah, man, like it's been an amazing ride on this thing. Like I wouldn't swap it out for anything else. Just like the feel of it, the playfulness, the control on the edge, the presses are insane. Landings on kickers. Because I did come from a bigger board before.
Yeah, I was
riding
gonna
to
say, what size is this guy?
This is a 146.
And what did you used to ride?
I used to ride a 150.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2021, 22, I was riding a 152 board. Yeah, and then 2024, 2023, I rode a 150, and then for this year, I went back to a 146.
And you like the 146 a little bit better, that size?
Yeah, I mean, coming from a bigger board, it definitely took a bit of time to get used to it. I really had to like I gave it like probably 2 days worth of riding before I actually like, got the feel of the board. I know how to land. I know how to do all this stuff on it now. Because like with less area to work with, you pretty much have to like dial in how you land and stuff to land square every time. Because whereas with a bigger board, it kind of helps you in a way when it comes to like big landings or big impacts and just having the overall surface area. But for the most part, man, like I think this was the best decision to come back to a 146, and it's just been a fun ride ever since.
That's sick.
Yeah.
What's the stance angle you got?
Stance, I'm all the way in. However, it's not like less than shoulder width.
Okay.
It's just right, and I'm rocking 15-15 all the way.
Okay. It's a classic 15-15 right there.
Yes, sir.
So you just said it takes you like a couple days to get used to a board.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something I'm curious to touch on because I try to jump on all sorts of different boards, like just to try them because it's fun. It's fun to try a different board.
Yeah.
But one set to me is nowhere near enough to like even get used to the board, let alone be able to give like solid feedback on. I mean, you can give a little bit. You can be like, okay, it's flexy or it's this or that. But like, how long do you think? Do you think 2 days is like a pretty good amount of time, 2 solid riding days to get used to a board?
For me, I think it's the best bet because if you just go for like a set, you pretty much just like ride that board and then compare it to the one you're actually riding. So yeah, I gave myself time to like, I really gave it 2 days of full riding with just that board. And then, yeah, like I was hooked already.
Yeah.
Like I like that gave me an opportunity to not compare it to the board before and just really like absorb everything that the board's doing. So yeah, I mean, pretty much if you're trying any other board, I think give it 2 days of sessions and you'll be good.
Yeah, I think after 2 days you can tell either like I could get used to this or this isn't for me.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good starting point. So keep that in mind, people who are trying
guys.
boards. I think it's time we dive into the LF'n Wheel of Questions presented by Liquid Force.
The LF'n Wheel of Questions.
Okay, let's go.
So if you want to go ahead and grab that down. Liquid Force likes to make wakeboarding fun, obviously. So let's make this podcast a little bit more fun by spinning the LF'n Wheel of Questions. So I think we got Go down here. We got Philippine Trivia, which I don't think you're going to be able to weasel your way out of. And then I think there's Steal a Trick. So yeah, go ahead and give that a spin and let's see what she lands on.
All right. Ooh,
What do we got?
greatest of all time.
Okay, well, we kind of did answer that a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
a little bit earlier.
So give it another spin. We'll see. If it lands on that again, then we're just going to pick one.
Oh, last slam you took.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, dude.
It sounds like it might be a good one.
Yeah, this is a good one. So, I think it was just a couple of days ago. I was riding in Nona, and then on the CNB rail, I was trying a toe front 270 hard way onto the to the incline, like in the middle. And then for some reason, like as soon as I ollie, I just suction cup because I think I caught a roller. Dude, as soon as I ollie, I suction cupped. The 270 was still going, but my body was already, I was lying on my back pretty much already.
You got pulled forward.
Yeah. So I was lying on my back, full pull on the CNB. I dropped down to the second ledge and then like bruised my hip pretty bad. And if you think it couldn't get any worse, I nose picked out of it.
That's a great way to end it.
Yeah, dude.
Did you do that one on film?
I wish I did,
That'd
but
be a great one,
everyone
yeah.
saw it and they were like, "Whoa, dude! Like, what happened to you?" It was a crazy time. I was just laughing it off. I was like, "Well, I thought the hip drop down was gonna be the worst one, but then I nose picked out of it, just like straight on, ka-dunk, and then just like whiplash."
It's always funny when someone falls early on a rail because you know they're just gonna like pinball their way to the end of it.
Exactly.
So it's just like because they're not letting go, so it's just like boom, 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 and then if to end on a nose pick is just great.
Yeah, dude, it was so funny. And then I was just like, as soon as I fell, I'll just look around, try to like see if anyone saw it, and then apparently everyone on the dock saw it. So I'm like,
Sure
okay, I'm gonna get out there and do that hit again.
Yeah, you got to get right back on the horse after that one. Make sure there's no rollers there. I think we're gonna do another segment called the LF'n Wheel Wild Card. So the crew at LF has another question, and it's gonna be a different question each podcast. So this one is, what's the most ridiculous piece of wakeboarding advice you've ever received, and did you actually try it?
That's interesting. The most ridiculous piece of wakeboarding advice.
I got one, and if you're still thinking of one that I've received, and
I think you can go first.
Yeah, if you're still thinking. So mine is riding with headphones kills your air awareness, is what I've heard. So I don't believe it. I don't subscribe to it. I don't go upside down all that often, but my buddy Pontoon that I ride with sometimes, he said that flips and headphones don't go together.
Wow.
So
all right. That's interesting.
I don't do flips that much, but like I just didn't buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I do ride sometimes, like when it's just a cruisy sesh, then I decide to wear my earphones on, but for the most part, I don't. But yeah, what's something that's very... Try and think.
It took me a minute to think of that one because I feel like I don't hear that much terrible advice, but when you do, they stick out.
I get you.
I don't know. If you don't get bad advice, that's fine too, though.
I can't think of anything, to be honest.
All right, that's good then. That's well, how about this? What's your best piece of advice you could give to somebody who's learning to wakeboard besides the fundamentals thing?
For me, it's basically just never give up. I have this favorite quote of mine that I always tell like younger kids that ask me for advice, and I always just tell this to them, like, if you fall 7 times, get back up 8 times. So this is my favorite quote ever since. It's just, it resonates, you know? Like, just never give up. If you fall, that's another opportunity to just get back up and try again.
Love that. That's a good quote right there. All right, I think it's we can put that back. So thank you to Liquid Force for that. You can go ahead and grab that wheel and put it back. We'll do Philippine Trivia later.
All right.
Before that, though, I do want to talk about air tricks. So we touched on it a little bit, and how the fundamentals, I think, probably helped a lot.
Yeah.
You know, learning how to edge your board and all that. So you have some of the most like powerful air tricks, I would say, out of a lot of riders. Like they're very dialed, they're big. Like I just wanted to, I'll put some clips in, obviously, of some air tricks too, but I'm curious on your thoughts if most or all full-size contests should have an air trick section.
Yeah.
You think
I
so?
would agree. I mean, whenever someone would ask me, like, what's my favorite thing doing on a cable, like whether it be rails, kickers, or air tricks, I always just say I can't pick between all of them. I love all of them. Like, I just love going big off the kickers. I am still working on my inverts, so don't judge me if I used to be like the all spin guy. Yeah, because I've been like the spin to win guy for so long, and like coming here to Orlando specifically, it just gave me the opportunity to like riding with the likes of like Preston, Max, Isaac. They do like all sorts of spins and also inverts as well, like mobs. So slowly but surely, you know, I've been working on my kickers to like have like a bigger bag of tricks for kickers aside from just spins.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I do believe that all the competitions, whether it be like no matter what federation, whether it be a private event or like these federations that we know about, I really think that air tricks still has to be there.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just shows how much of an overall rider you are, pretty much.
Yeah. I think on a full-size contest, I like the option of having like a air trick or something else, but it's tough to argue that like air tricks aren't like a staple in full-size cable riding.
Yeah.
Because they are.
Yeah.
You know?
If I, in some events as well, when I did, I can't remember what event it was. Maybe it was, what event was it? Yeah, I can't remember, but there was that event. Oh, Embly in Singapore.
Okay.
I think it was last year or
Yeah.
2 years ago. We were given the option to either in the creative section, it was either a bump or an air trick, or an air trick and
Yeah,
bump.
I think the last Embley Open had the same thing, right?
Yeah,
This
they had the same
past
thing.
weekend,
so for me, I love the idea of like having the option for air tricks, because you know I'm gonna do an air trick for sure. But yeah, like having that creative section just makes, you know, like pretty much shows how creative of a rider you are. Like if I was to do those type of runs again, I would definitely do an air trick into a bump, because just, you know, have like best of both worlds pretty much.
That's what this one was. This most recent one was.
Yeah, yeah,
Right? It was
I
an air
watched-
trick, and then you cut
Yeah,
over.
that
and
was
then you-
sick, yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was really nice.
And I thought it looked good too. Like everyone was grabbing their air trick, and then you immediately cut back
True.
into the
True.
bump, and then
I
into
agree.
the corner.
Yeah,
I thought-
that was really sick. Yeah.
I'm curious on like riders' thoughts on that section, because you didn't go to that contest.
I didn't go to it.
Why not?
I'm kind of still settling in here in Orlando. So yeah, pretty much took this year as an off season for this year, like when it comes to international comps. But I have been going to comps more locally here.
Yeah, you won the Florida State Championship, right?
Yeah.
Notorious Florida resident Raph Trinidad.
Yeah, dude. Apparently I'm a Florida resident now.
Does it count as a win if the Stuckies aren't there though?
They were there.
They were there, just
They
judging.
were there just judging.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah,
So
I would have loved to be there competing with them though.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
For sure. Yeah.
Why didn't they ride?
I think they just got back from Italy at that time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Which
Mr.
makes-
Worldwide, dude. They're all over the place.
I
right
know,
now.
dude.
Like,
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to getting to ride with them in a comp somewhere for sure.
yeah, absolutely. So this year you're kind of taking it easy and just staying stateside. And
Yeah, stateside pretty
any
much.
contests you got the rest of the summer planned?
Now I think I will be going to RGR in.
You will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you down, dude. I'm going to that. I'm gonna smoke you, dude. I'm gonna get in your head so hard.
All right. We'll see what happens, bro.
Are you going to both stops?
Yeah.
Well, dude, the thing is, you're good at air tricks and kickers. There's neither of those in this contest.
Exactly.
So
I'm going.
I'm kidding. I'm talking a huge game. There's no chance that would ever happen, but I'm trying to get in his head early. So you're going to both stops of
Yeah, I'm
RGR?
going to both stops. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's that, and then I think the major ones for this year for me are I will be heading back to the Philippines sometime in the next couple of months for our nationals.
Okay.
The IWWF World Championships is going to happen sometime September. I'll be going to that, and January next year, I think, early January. We have the AAO, which is the Asia Australia Championship. So yeah, I think these are the main events that I'm looking forward to this year.
Are you going to this Red Bull Wake the City thing?
I have no idea.
You got a Red Bull hat on, so
Yeah, I
who
know.
can we talk to about
I
that?
might have to talk to Mossy about that.
I mean, I guess if you win at RGR, you'll be able to get in anyways. But yeah, that just got announced, so I was curious on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the Philippines. So I'm curious, Lray, Gov,
Yeah.
what role has he played, in your progression and path to be a professional wakeboarder?
Yeah, so basically, the Gov, CWC, they have helped me in so many ways to be the rider that I am today, and I'm super grateful for their help, like, overall, like, with helping me with gear, giving me all the benefits of staying in CWC, getting to ride there for free and everything. And yeah, I'm super duper grateful for everything that they've done for me, and also for other riders as well that come to the CWC. Just give them an amazing park to ride in, So yeah, they've definitely pushed the sport. I mean, CWC just got a ton of new features.
Yeah.
Like, I've been seeing the videos. I just left for the States when they installed most of the features. So I'm like, yeah, maybe when I head back to the Philippines, I might have to try those out. But yeah, man, I'm super duper grateful for the Gov. He's helped me a lot in my journey as a rider. So
Yeah, that's sick. Definitely a lot of people talk, say good things about he's obviously a fan of wakeboarding, and that's cool to see.
Yeah, for sure.
What's one thing people should know about the Philippines before they travel there? So if you're going to visit CWC or any other wake parks in the Philippines, what's something that, a foreigner should know about the Philippines?
One thing.
Or anything, I guess. Just some tips, you
Yeah,
know?
all right. So if you're traveling to the Philippines for the first time, you definitely have to get angels.
Oh,
You're
for
going
sure. 100%.
Whether it be in CWC or
They're all over the
just
place, right?
they're all over the
Okay.
place. So yeah, just get yourself an angels. Be prepared for legit traffic. Because I mean, I've heard it gets pretty wild out here in Orlando, but let me tell you, like traffic here that goes 15 miles an hour, that is not traffic. Traffic back home, it's a full standstill for 2 hours.
Oof. It's called gridlock. That's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's not even.
If you're on a scooter, though, you can.
Pretty much.
Get
You're
around
gonna
the
have to look
problem.
out for all these scooters as well because they are a menace, bro. I mean, I used to ride my bike a lot back home, and then yeah, these scooters are everywhere.
Yeah.
So better be aware of that. But aside from that, man, like if you go to any of the wake parks in the Philippines, like everyone will welcome you with open arms. They'll gladly help you with like anything you need, pretty much. So yeah, just pop out there, let them know where you came from or something, and they'll be more than happy to help you out.
Yeah.
I think I can say this confidently that all the wake parks will do this.
I can definitely speak to that too. I was only at CWC, but like the people all around were just like some of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life.
For sure.
And they didn't even know who I was. So that was cool. Favorite park in the Philippines? Favorite cable?
Favorite cable?
It could be closed now, so it doesn't have to be still operating.
Okay. Well, I grew up riding in Republic, so I would have to say that was one of my favorite parks. Deca, where my home park right now when I head home, and then of course CWC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Definitely. Let's talk Red Bull. So you're on Red Bull, and I think it's pretty obvious Red Bull is regarded as, you know, one of the best brands in any industry to ride for, whether it's wakeboarding, skating, any industry. Red Bull is like, you know, kind of has set themselves apart. So I'm curious, how do you get on Red Bull Philippines? How does that happen?
Yeah, so basically, I got signed with Red Bull in the middle of the pandemic, which was like, you know, like a silver lining in amidst of the very like bougie time. But yeah, so basically what happened, like I've had friends who were like in marketing, and they've been pitching me to the manager for the longest time, but the manager didn't take notice until one of his riders, actually, he was a professional kiteboarder. Oh, until now he is, and his name's Christian Tio, and we got to ride a lot in the cable. And then that's where I got to meet him. I talked about him about Red Bull and stuff, and then I had no idea that he actually vouched for me to the TM. So like, long story short, like when the TM heard about my name from his rider, that he pretty much, you know, like, helped with everything growing up, that got his attention.
Yeah.
So he talked with me. We were like going back and forth. It was I think it was a 6-month process to get everything dialed in.
So what's happening in that 6 months? Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, how's that? Like, what's going on in that whole process?
Yeah, so it was basically just going. I think it was more their side, like the TM going back and forth with Red Bull Main, like the HQ. So yeah, for me it was basically just like starting to like do the Red Bull content slowly creeping up the Red Bull and like integrating it into my social media posts and my content. And then yeah, pretty much when the TM got back to me, he said that I got approved by the headquarters, and then that was pretty much what happened. So got signed in the middle of the pandemic. We did the welcoming video, like I think it was just the park was basically open just for us in the middle of COVID, which was very intense. And I didn't get to ride for like 3 months during that time.
Before that, right?
Before that, because it was like everything was closed down. So yeah, like it was a crazy time. So cable opened up. I basically I did not ride for one time for 3 months, and then I had to ride for this shoot. So like I was basically trying to remember all my tricks. I was just hoping that I could still do them. But I was definitely so rusty during that time.
Oh,
but
yeah. 3 months is a long time to take off cable riding.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, like it was very, very grateful that happened. And yeah, I still got my Red Bull cap on. So super stoked.
You do. And you got your Red Bull helmet right there too. So that's sick. So how does the sign, are you signing a physical piece of paper or does that come over electronically?
Yeah. So I signed a physical piece
Really?
of paper. Yeah,
Where'd
it
you-
was.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, we got it. I think we got it through a mail, and then like we opened it up. It was like it had like the Ford, it had like the whole like Red Bull thing like badge on this on the paper, and I was like, oh damn, like is this actually it? We opened it up. Me and my parents were like so stoked. We were just like, oh, dude, it's actually happening.
It's legit. Yeah, it's real
Yeah,
now.
It's real now. So as soon as I signed, I was like, damn. Yeah, it was a very amazing moment for me and my parents because growing up, I just always told them like I see all these videos of Red Bull riders from like 10 years ago, and then I was just like, damn, like Red Bull is definitely the dream. And
Yeah.
to be able to like actually, the moment where I actually got my own Red Bull helmet, that was a dream come true, right?
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Let's shift into Philippines a little bit more. What's your favorite Filipino food?
Favorite Filipino food?
Yep.
Definitely has to be, we call it bistek Tagalog. So it's basically beef steak. And then you guys definitely have to get some tapsilog, bro.
I've had that.
Oh,
I've had that.
you know how good it is.
I
right?
also had what's the chicken head?
The chicken balut.
Yeah,
Oh, dude.
I think I had a chicken head on a skewer. I'll put the video of me eating it in.
Oh, okay. Chicken
It was
head.
disgusting. I think I ate it wrong though. I just put the whole thing in my mouth. Someone told me you're supposed to eat it differently than that. Is there a way to eat?
Did you try balut,
I didn't try bullet. That's the gross egg thing, right?
dude?
Should I not have said gross? Is it not gross?
I mean, I never tried it before.
You haven't tried it?
No, my girlfriend loves it a lot, and my dad too. Me and my mom have never. We're not a fan. I tried it myself. It's actually good if you just take out that there's an actual duck inside it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's a duck.
yeah,
Oh, I thought it was a chicken.
it's a duck.
Okay. Yeah, that's it seems like a polarizing menu item. The balut. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, balut.
Balut. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, another tip for everyone that's going to the Philippines.
I mean, you got to try all that stuff.
yeah,
you have to.
you have to try it. At least try it so you know you actually tried it. And yeah, don't be like me. I did try it because I was like, I just did not like it for the longest time, and then I tried it with my girlfriend one time, and it's actually not that bad, you know.
Can you compare it to something? What does it taste like?
I don't
Or is it really that unique? It's like its own.
unique.
Okay.
I mean, I've been to Thailand and other countries, but I've never tasted anything like balut.
Okay.
So you would have to like try it.
You
for
just got to
yourself.
do it. All right.
Just got to do it.
I got you.
You can find it on every corner in the main city, and you'll be good.
Okay. All right. Travel tips from Raph here. I like it. I think it's time we dive into another segment called Deserve Some Love, which is presented by Driftline. So Driftline makes wetsuit line board shorts. Best boardies in the game. If you're going to get a pair of board shorts, get one with wetsuit liner. Use code GRAB15 for 15% off. And Deserve Some Love is just a segment where you can give somebody in your life a little bit of love that, you know, maybe they didn't get they deserved. So it could be a rider that never got sponsored or someone that helped you, you know, in your formative years when you were starting riding or anything like that.
I would have to say, like, I just want to say a big thank you to my parents because, I mean, they are my very first sponsors getting into
True,
wakeboarding.
true.
My dad, he's yeah, for sure. Like, both my parents, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I am today, literally. So,
Yeah.
would like to, like, shout out to my parents right there. I know you're going to watch this eventually. Love you guys. Mwah. And then, yeah, my girlfriend, she's been there. She's been really supportive of me in everything that I do. So huge shout out to her. I love her. To all my sponsors, of course, huge thank you to all the all my boys out there in the Philippines, to the Philippine wakeboarding community, the homies. What's up, guys? Love you guys. Thank you so much for everything that you do for the sport, like worldwide and also like locally back in our home country, the Philippines. And
Love
yeah.
it.
Looking forward to where wakeboarding is going to be in the next couple of years, man.
Raph's excited for the future of wakeboarding. I love it.
For sure.
As am I, dude. You and me both. We got a Patreon question from Peter Bosma. So if you guys are interested in supporting the show, joining the Patreon is the best way to do that. Thanks you to everyone who is on the Patreon. Helps keep this podcast going. So Peter Bosma is wondering, he says, I remember seeing you ride some boards from Blank Board back in 2017-ish.
Yeah.
And he said, I think the board was called the Commute. Do you know the story behind that brand and what happened to them?
Oh, okay. So basically, the Blackboards, it's a brand created by Republic Wakepark. During their time. So I was actually, so I think they had three lines during that time. So it was the Sabong, which is a chicken fight in English, and then the Commute was another model. So yeah, it was basically a startup brand by Republic, and then yeah, we worked on it for a couple of months until we perfected it, and then yeah, it was a great board, man. Like when I because this for the sabong, I was actually the one who helped design it. Like
Oh, really?
I pretty much had like a new board pretty much every day for like 2 weeks straight. Like it was just a new board every day. Like okay, I ride this board, I give feedback to the one who makes it, and then he just comes up with a new one like overnight, and then gives it to me. Like okay, what do we need to do until we just perfected it. Those boards last a long time.
Where were they made? Like right
Locally,
they really were.
Yeah. So Republic had a factory that's just close to the park as well, and then I think they just got. I think that during that time they were also making wake skates. I forgot what brand they were making it from.
Water Monsters? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Made that up. I don't know where they're
I
made.
think it was Remote.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're probably right.
I think it was Remote, and then yeah, they pretty much decided to make wakeboards as well, and then they asked for my help during that time to like create pretty much the board of my the board that I want to make, or what board we can make out of it.
Yeah.
And then that's where the sabong came into play. The Commute was actually Chris Hopp's. It was his own board. Pretty much he made it into what it was. And then yeah, like both these boards were really amazing, but it's sad to see that it didn't really like push through. But yeah, man, thank you for that question. That's
a good one.
That's awesome that actually someone actually took notice of that.
So I guess, I mean, you might not know all this, but like what kind of did happen to Republic? Like, because from the outside looking in, like Republic had like a team, Wakepark, like it was kind of a whole thing. And then it seems to me like it's just kind of like obviously the Wakepark, Republic, Wakepark closed.
Yeah.
So like, can you speak on any of that? Do you know kind of what happened?
Yeah. So from what I know, the property that they were renting it on, like they had a 10-year lease on it, and then it just came to an end pretty much. And when they were trying to renew it, the property owner decided to double the rent in the middle of the pandemic.
Sick.
Yeah, it's sad. But now, I mean, where Republic used to be, it's now a golf course. Of course.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it's just sad to see. I went by Republic a couple of times, like when it closed down. I just saw like how it slowly like just became just gone, like
that's really sad.
Yeah, it was really sad. Like the last time I actually rode in that park, I didn't even do anything. I just went around the park, just like cherishing all the memories.
When you knew it was closing, and
yeah, it was a sad time, but like things come and go. Got to move forward.
You're right, they do come and go. That is sad though. I couldn't imagine riding the cable I grew up in like the last day before it closed. I'd probably cry a little bit.
I cried, bro. I literally cried on the water, just like riding around. I was crying.
Dang. All right. Philippines. Let's do Philippine trivia. So we got 5 questions here. A couple true and false in here. Some are easier than others. What are the three main island groups of the Philippines?
3 main island groups?
Yeah.
Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao.
Correct. I had no idea how to say any of those, so now I do. How many islands are there in the Philippines?
7,144. Or 7,154. It was either of the two.
I got a different number, but you seem like you know what you're talking about. I got 7,600. So I don't know how they count them. Am I wrong?
Well, during my time in school, this is what the islands were. So.
All right. I'm going to take your word over it, dude.
Maybe
I'm
they added more
on
islands or something, or maybe islands just popped out. I don't know.
They could. Islands, everything comes and goes. Dude.
Islands
come and go.
Literally, yeah. Like islands just decide whether they want to come out or not. So.
True or false? The Philippines is the only Asian nation that is predominantly Catholic.
True.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Fun fact: more than 86% of the population identifies as Catholic, which is pretty high.
That is very true.
True or false? Philippines became the first and only U.S. colony in 1898.
I would have to believe that's true.
That is true.
Wow, I got my history on point right
You're
now.
pretty solid right now, dude. I'm not gonna lie. You're
Dang.
looking good for the country. What is the population density of Manila?
Manila.
So people per square mile. This is a tough one.
This is a tough one, guys. Per square mile, I would have to say about 50,000.
Wow, 55,000 per square mile. That is impressive.
Dude, that's like just, I can see it, bro. When I'm walking around Manila, like, oh yeah, this is like 50,000 people right here.
I mean, dude, it says it's one of the most densely populated cities in the entire
it definitely
world.
is. Yeah.
Like it's packed,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. When you lived there, where did you live? Did you live in like a house or an apartment? Like how's it?
Oh yeah.
living there?
So basically, when we moved to Manila, and then I started riding Republic, we had a house like literally right next to Republic. There's a village right in front of it, and then that's where we live, me and my parents. And then yeah, when Republic closed down, 7 months before moving to the States, me, my girlfriend, and a couple of our friends, we rented a house beside Deco Wakepark Clark. So there was also a new village there, like literally across. There's just a wall, pretty much, and our houses there. So we rented that place for about 7 months before I moved to the States, and yeah, man, it was an amazing time. Just
Yeah.
being able to like walk up to the park, see if anyone's there. If there's no one there, then okay, come back home.
Wait till
So-
later, till somebody's
Yeah,
there to ride
exactly.
with. I want to hear what you think the most overrated and underrated tricks are.
Overrated tricks.
You can start with underrated if you want,
Uh,
or you want to get
underrated.
spicy.
Underrated tricks. I think for me, underrated tricks has to be maybe air tricks.
I was
Yeah.
figuring you would go in that direction. Are there any
Yeah.
like specific types of air tricks? Like,
Maybe it has to be like, I don't know.
like a Rayleigh air trick, or like anything with like a front flip in it, or like a toe side one. I guess toe sides I feel like people think are pretty hard.
Yeah, toe side is pretty hard.
Yeah.
But I think I've just heard like a lot of stories about, some wake parks not really favoring air tricks because they're not cool or something like that. I've heard these stories a lot.
Yeah.
So like I would have to say like for some people or some parks, I think air tricks are definitely underrated.
Yeah.
For overrated, I don't know, man. Like I think I'm pretty open to like all the new styles of
You're being too
wakeboarding.
nice right now, Raph. We need to cut in a little bit to get an overrated trick.
All right.
I don't have any on the top of my head, but I could probably think of some.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something.
I'll get one right now. Front board Pretz 4. I think that's a little overrated.
Oh. Interesting. Why?
It's just a front side 360 out. You just add 90. It's the same thing.
I got you. I get that.
Maybe that's not overrated though. I feel like that's pretty appropriately rated. Like people are like, yeah, front board.
Yeah, but
Press
you
four.
can technically just do like a fitty to a front three out, and maybe you would do it better.
True.
Maybe.
Maybe that's not a good one. I didn't pick a very good one there now. I mean, I always go with toe back 7. I think that's
Dude, I do that in my run.
I
do
know,
that in my
dude.
run. So,
But you got B9ers on lock. So what's the 7 coming into play for? Is that just like if you're going into a run and you like see what everybody else does and you're like, I don't need to do the 9, I'll just do the 7? Is that kind of the thought process when you're
pretty
doing it?
much like
when
when
you're
I'm
doing the back seven?
when I'm making my own run, I pretty much just think I have a safe run, and then I have the banger run,
Yeah.
and then I always just like play it by ear. Pretty much, I see what everyone's doing, and if I know that like my safe run is not gonna cut it, I will do like a 9 instead of a 7.
Because I saw in the Florida State Championship run, I was just watching some of your contest runs. You did a heel, I think it was
switch heel back 7.
switch heel back 7.
Yeah.
Would that have been switch heel back 9 if like you needed to step it up? Or would you have done a completely different trick?
I think I would have done switch heel front 9.
Okay.
Yeah, if I had to. But I did just land before the Florida State Championships. I did just land my KGB, which I did use in my run, and then like 2 days before that comp, I landed my KGB 5, which I did use for that event. So having that KGB just like on lock for my run was huge for me.
Yeah.
Just like having that safe trick, and then if I did have to, which I did need it, I landed my KGB 5.
Okay.
So I think there goes to show, like, I just landed that trick a week or a few days before the Florida State Championships, and I got to use it right off the bat in a competition, and it helped me a lot. So yeah, this inverse for me have been a battle, but I'm slowly starting to.
It sounds like it, dude. You got KGB 5. Like you're stepping it up.
Thanks, bro.
You're getting there.
Appreciate it.
I'm looking for an overrated trick though.
Overrated.
You gotta have one. That's just like, that's not that hard. Wrapped KGB? I don't know.
Oh, I get what you mean. All right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I was thinking about doing that, but I was like, nope, you are not going to do a wrap KGB.
I just feel like that trick's done once you take off. Like it's
pretty
you
much.
you just hang on and flips and spins you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Man. Doesn't have to be a kicker trick either, I guess. Could be air trick, could be rail.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
All right. You're too nice.
I can't think of anything.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm open to all the tricks in wakeboarding. Like, no matter what I see,
as long as you make it look good, man, that's all that matters.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right?
Like, I'm all for it. If you just if you post content on something different, then dude, that was actually pretty cool. Then appreciate, respect.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
So. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Sorry to disappoint you.
No, you're not disappointed at all. You're just a nice guy. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm curious we were talking contests, and you said, so you're going to RGR this year and then maybe, back to the Philippines, but kind of taking this year off. But in general, what goes into you making a decision whether or not you're going to attend a cable contest or not? So like if you look at the whole calendar year and you see all these cable contests, you got a bunch in Europe, Australia, like you went to Australia this past year, like what's in the decision-making process for you on whether or not you're going to go?
I think it's more on a big thing is always budget. Like, if the comp has prize money or something, or if I'm gonna be able to show, if I go to an event, will it help me, or will it help me just show my face if I go there? And also there are a couple events when for example, I heard a lot about LAO. I really would want to go to that event, but I just heard stories of hotels or places to stay just being over through the roof when it comes to budget. So that automatically is a huge downside for me if I do decide to go to events like those where the prize money, if I do snag a little bit of it, pretty much, if they can't compensate for the amount I'm gonna spend, then I'd rather just stay where I'm at, film content or two, just pretty much that's the whole thought process. But there are some events that are a no-brainer, for this, IWWF World Championships, Nationals back home.
Does IWWF World Championships have money? Can you win money on that?
From what I know, your government pays you.
Okay.
A certain amount. So
to go there, or if you win?
If you win.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So that's the whole IWWF thing. And I know WWA is more of it's a paid event, which makes sense that they have prize money. But yeah. So it's things like this that I think about when it comes to going into competitions. And yeah, also I also think about who's going pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if it's just gonna be me that's gonna be going, and other riders that I don't really know, it's
you don't want to go if it's just not gonna be some of the bigger names.
For the most part, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would want to. The challenge is what's fun about competitions, Just,
True.
For example, if the Stuckies are there, that's gonna be a fun competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the other big names, we got so many. So
did you watch the last NBA Open this past weekend?
Yeah,
you watched the live stream?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, I'm curious on your thoughts on what your favorite format of a contest has been, because the NBA Open ones are, I guess every cable contest seems like it's a different format now, which I don't hate. Some of them I like a lot better than others. I really like the LAO format because it's just half of the cable. Seemed pretty easy to digest, but this NBA Open one seemed like a pretty unique format, I guess, too. with how things were judged. So what's your thoughts on, formatting of full-size contests?
Yeah, so I think Embly is doing something really good right now because they're doing it into like sections of 4 as of the moment.
Yep.
I'm not sure if they're doing it because that's how the park is laid out, but I love just like having the back line, creative section as another section, kicker as another section, and then the front line. So I think that's just very easy to like for the riders to absorb, and then you can make your runs out of it. Like you can watch the previous rider if they, if they beat you in their previous run and you have a run to go, you can wait for it and then see where you can actually like just improve on pretty much. So I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. It's interesting to make like full-size cable contests like be easy to watch on a live stream in a sense, because when you do have that format, you have riders skipping sections.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a bummer because it's like, I don't know, you're just watching them like go down the middle. And it's like, oh, that's not that entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I do get what you mean because from an outsider's perspective, I've heard a lot about it. Like, why are they like skipping this section? Like, aren't they supposed to lose this if they like skip a section or two or something?
Yeah.
But I do get what Embly is trying to do to get the best riding out of all the riders. That's why they have the options to skip if they want to, just so they can showcase like the level of their riding to their maximum,
100%.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and I understand that.
I'm curious on the riders' thoughts too, though, because it sounds like you as a rider like that format quite a bit.
I mean, I used to not like it, like doing Singapore and doing the Embly in Singapore before, but I do like now that I actually looked at the past 2 years of Embly, it does make a lot of sense just to showcase like a rider's full potential, instead of just like a full run that's sort of safe, but maybe like some risky stuff here and there. But if you have the option to like skip a section or two, then you can like focus on actually one section with a banger. Then
you can be fully dialed on that section
exactly.
and get
just
the best tricks.
Yeah, to get all the best tricks out of all the riders. Then that pretty much makes it more fair, pretty much for the judging.
Yeah,
because if you as a rider, that you did your best trick on this specific section, then if you lose that section, then no regrets. You got to do the best hit you can do on that section.
Yeah.
So that just makes, I mean, for me, if that happened to me, that would just like tell me that, all right, I got to work on this trick on this section, like on this specific type of rail for the next one. So that's just, it's basically showing you that where you need to improve on for the next one.
There's not confusion on like,
Yeah.
my overall score was a 72, but like,
yeah, where
do I actually need to improve?
Yeah, exactly. Because how like the full run, like the usual format, especially in IWWF, it's a full run. It's like 50-50, 50 on air tricks, 50 on the rails. And it is good, but sometimes like when you see your score, it kind of like, you kind of second guess yourself on maybe my score was low because I did this on the kicker, or maybe was it the rail hit I did on this. So Embly just like made the second guessing non-existent pretty much, because you can see exactly where you need to improve.
Yeah, and with the live scoring too, it's obviously it's
awesome.
Very helpful. Shout out Embly. I mean, they're pumping a lot of money into these cable contests. So
exactly. Yeah, they're Embly. You're doing something good. For sure.
Absolutely. So shout out them. IWWF, the setups I feel like have always been, you said it's like 50% rails, 50% air tricks. I feel like the setups are always a bit lackluster, like from a perspective, like me watching it standpoint. Is that something that you've noticed as a rider too? I mean, do you wish that maybe the contests were at more difficult parks so it's easier to set yourself apart from other riders on the rails?
Yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense, and it would like shift IWWF from like the usual like just 4 to 5 rails, and it's like a fun box, a kicker, maybe a rooftop or an A-frame.
Yeah,
it would be awesome. Like imagine if IWWF was at a park like 313.
Yeah,
imagine how sick that would be. Like to actually have like a full blown, like maybe you can make it like just 4 or 5 rail hits still. Skip some of the rails, but like these rails are huge.
Yeah.
So I think that would be very interesting if IWWF does decide to do that.
That'd be my biggest suggestion, because I feel like I've watched several of the IWWF contests, either recaps or like live, and it's like we got the best wakeboarders in the world hitting like a rainbow box. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Come on,
I
now.
see that. Yeah.
Ollie
And,
back
like,
too, same way 4. Like, okay,
and you
sick,
see
but-
like a flat bar and like a huge pipe on the side, like a super fat, just like round pipe. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I've seen those videos as well, and I mean the air tricks are sick, but like I get what you mean by like just trying to like balance everything out.
Yeah.
If you're doing an S-Mode 5, would you want to do like a nose press on a flat bar all the way? Or would you rather do like the pull gap in 313?
Yeah, like a big thing.
Yeah.
And that's my other thing with this isn't like talking shit or anything, but like Munich Mash, I feel like used to have the Mega and like some solidly big rails, and I feel like in years past it's maybe gotten a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
And I think when you make the rails smaller, it's harder for the better riders to separate themselves from like the riders that are just below them. Like it just makes the competition more confusing, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, you're all kind of doing really similar things on similar sized rails. And I guess maybe that's not a good excuse. You just get creative and find a different way to separate yourself. But it's long-winded for me just wanting the Mega back at Munich Mash, to be honest. So
I saw that comp. It's insane. Like I think the cameras don't do it justice on how big those Mega ramps actually are.
no way. It can't, dude. We need to bring the Mega back.
Yeah.
Would you like to see the Mega in a
I
contest?
would want to see the Mega.
Dude, you could probably 14 on one of those units.
Probably.
Your spin to win?
Trent
dude,
can. Trent can for sure.
Oh, he gets 16 on that.
Oh
thing,
yeah,
I bet,
for sure.
dude. Back 16. Talking parks, what have been some of your favorite parks you've ever been to? Because you've been to quite a few.
Yeah. Favorite parks definitely have to be 313. It's definitely up there. Yeah, I'm just gonna say like parks I've been to aside from home.
Yeah. Parks you've visited.
Yeah. Thai Wakepark, definitely, no brainer.
Yeah.
And then I would have to say,
Yeah, because we got top 3 right now. So you got 313, Thai Wakepark. Throw another one in there. What do you got? And it doesn't have to be for setup. It could be for vibes. It could be, I don't know. It could be anything.
yeah, I got what you mean.
Could be tension for the air tricks.
Ooh.
You ever been to Valdosta yet?
No,
Let's go.
I'll probably go there.
Yeah, let's go
sometime
soon.
soon. Yeah,
Are you driving up for RGR or are you flying?
I'm flying.
Okay.
Yeah. Another park.
You been to Elevated yet? No. You got some parks you got to hit.
I know.
In the
I
States,
have
dude.
quite a few.
Yeah.
I need to go to one of those one by one. Yeah. We got 313, Thai Wakepark, and also. Wait,
Been to too many.
where else have I been to?
In Europe? You been to a few in Europe? I don't know.
Liquid?
There you go.
Yeah.
Is that up there?
No.
No?
Well, it could be, pretty much. It was a really fun park to ride in.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Liquid.
All right. I mean, those are the 3 parks with like some of the most plastic in the entire planet. 313 and Liquid have more features.
Yeah,
than,
dude.
like,
I kind of like was bummed that I saw the air trick comp in 313 this year. I was like, damn, dude.
you would have
I
eaten that right up, dude.
I would have loved to be there.
That would have been sick. Yeah, that thing looked cool. I was a big fan of that air trick, like little bonus contest or whatever.
Yeah, that would have been sick. Maybe next year, do it again. 313.
I think it was a success, so I don't see why they wouldn't run it back.
Yeah.
It's like the crowd's right there too, like, and people are
Yeah,
sending
exactly.
it. Like, I don't know who it was that got double ejected. Was it
Liam.
Liam?
Yeah, I
I
think
feel
it
like
was
Rudy
Liam.
had a good fall too, though.
Yeah, but I think I remember
Was it Liam that got double
Liam that
eject?
got double ejected.
Love
yeah.
a good double eject.
Yeah,
I mean, the crowd loves a
it's
good double
insane.
eject.
Dude, did you see what Ariano Blahnik did? I think he wanted to do double S to blind or double heart attack or something.
Yeah.
And then he just like went S bend. His body wanted to do another S bend, but he passed the handle and he just got.
They should live stream that.
They,
That would be hype.
dude, they have a video. Oh no, I saw it on Instagram.
That's what I'm saying, but they should
Yeah.
do like a proper, like, just do it like half an hour of
I
just
wish they
like
did.
the gnarliest air tricks in
Oh,
that
dude.
corner, dude.
It was
Because there's the boys are sending, dude. So you might
yeah,
as well.
the tension there is amazing for air tricks.
It looks
Yeah, it's so much
insane.
fun.
I was talking to JB, and JB O'Neill. He wants you to explain the tabo. Did I say that wrong?
Tabo.
Tabo? Tabo? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, guys. Damn it, JB. You had to get it in there. All right. So a tabo is basically just like a small, when you got a bucket of water and you got something to get water with, that's a tabo. I'm not sure what you guys call that here in English.
What do you mean? Like to scoop the water out?
Yeah, that's basically what a tabo is.
Okay.
But since we don't use back home, tissues are not a thing when you go number 2.
Yeah.
So we use the tabo. So if ever, it can be a tabo, bro. It can be like a specific type of the scooper for the bucket of water or something, or it can be a plastic cup. It can be a mug. So whenever you go in a Filipino family's home, and if you see a mug on the side, definitely don't use that for like drinking or brushing your teeth, because that's used for a different reason.
So I guess I'm going to need a little bit more clarification here.
Mm.
There's a bucket of water next to the toilet, and you're using the tabo.
Yeah, the tabo is what you use to scoop up water and then
Throw it on your ass.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Like it's like a bidet.
Yeah, it's a manual bidet. It's yeah, dude. I mean, I use that till this day. So I just don't understand using tissues. I didn't grow up with it. I can't get used to it. So,
Hey, I mean, it really doesn't really make that much sense when you think about it. It's so much waste of paper,
yeah.
tissue paper, or toilet paper, whatever.
So thanks, JB, for that.
But,
there,
yeah.
there you go. That's what a tabo is. We use it to wipe our ass.
JB must be a big fan. We got one last Patreon question here from Mark Seam, and he's wondering what's better, rice in the USA or rice in the Philippines?
Well, I think rice here and rice back home is pretty much the same if you cook it right. It's this method right here, guys. This line, you see this line? That's how you measure the water for the rice.
I need some more. What do you mean? So you put the rice and the water in the pot?
Yeah, so this is how you cook rice, the Filipino way and the right way. So put rice in, you wash it with clean water 3 times.
Three
and
times.
and drain it out. After that, you just put water. You put water again in the rice, and make sure to know that you're gonna get perfect rice every time. Just use this line on your finger right here. Stick it down there, and when you touch the rice, the water level has to be here on
Okay.
this line.
And that's it?
And that's it.
That's all you do?
That's all you do. No salt, no herbs, no nothing. That's perfect steamed white rice right there.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, dude.
How's Jollibee's rice? Do they got good rice?
Everywhere
They have
you
good
go,
rice?
everywhere you go in the Philippines, we will have good rice. So I have not been to Jollibee ever since I've moved to the States. I would want to try Jollibee.
Do they have them here?
Yeah.
They do?
There was one in New York. I just never went to one.
Huh.
So, but yeah, for the most part, nothing here has rice. Like
Yeah.
all the restaurants that we have back home doesn't have. Back home, like Wendy's has rice.
Interesting.
So all those restaurants.
Yeah.
But here there's no rice. So basically, if I'm craving rice and I don't want to cook it at home, Panda Express is my best friend right now.
You like Panda Express? Or is it just because that's where you go to get the rice?
That's my go-to to get the rice as of
Alright.
the moment. So there you go, guys.
Fair enough. That's Rice 101 right there. Love that. Yeah, before we wrap this up, is there anything you want to touch on here or anybody else you want to thank?
Yeah, I think I thanked everyone earlier.
You did.
I want to thank you, bro, for having me on this podcast.
You did thank me right away, too. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it's been a long time coming. You messaged me my first time coming to Orlando.
That is true.
And yeah, we just never got around to it until today. So super stoked to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, man.
Dude, yeah, thanks for coming on. This was a blast. I think it'd be great to have you on for a shop talk later at some point, later in the season or at the end of the season once I, beat your ass in Rail Garden Rampage just a couple weeks
dude.
here. So
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, it is actually a sick contest. I think you're going to, it's interesting. Do you know the format this year?
No.
So it's rider judged. So
So you like pick.
so it's just head to head, like the whole thing's head to head throughout all the way to the end. But you're judged by the group that's up next. So like say it's me and you riding in one heat.
Yeah.
The people who are judging us are the 2 people in the next heat. So they're on the dock watching.
That's awesome. So it's going to be head to head.
Head to head the whole way.
Oh, dude, I would love to ride with you, Dad.
We might. Who knows? It's a random draw, so we'll see.
Oh, it's a random draw.
It's a random draw head to head.
Sick.
Yeah, dude. It's a different contest, but I'm super stoked for it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah.
I'll see you there, man.
I will see you there.
I will be nice to you, though.
You're going to be nice. Well, dude, you're too nice. You couldn't even pick an overrated trick. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I
That's a
can't
good
think
thing,
of
dude.
anything. Like, honestly, you guys, I can't think of anything. So.
That's fine. If you do think of something, let me know. And then we can talk about it on the dock.
All right.
And then I'll plan on doing it in my run. Just get in your head, dude.
All right, bro. All right.
Love it, dude. All right. Well, man, thanks a ton for coming on. This was a blast. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you guys are interested in supporting the Patreon or supporting the podcast, joining the Patreon is the best way to do that. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, rating the podcast 5 stars. Seriously, if you do that, that means a ton to me. Helps put the podcast out there. And as always, share it if you like this episode. So thanks everyone for tuning in. See you guys next time.